Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're going to take a look at the Daughters of Khaine, and in particular the Khailebron sub-faction. In this video, we're going to go through everything that the Khailebron sub-faction gives you, in addition to your normal Daughters of Khaine rules, so what makes Khailebron special, and then we'll take a look at some units we can start off our collection with for Khailebron. We'll then take a look at other units we can then expand those initial purchases with to fully flesh out a nice 1000 point army list at the end of the video, which you can use as some inspiration to create your own army or indeed copy out if that's what you wish to do. And so, what exactly do we get? First of all, you don't lose anything for being Khailebron. You get all the same sort of normal rules you would for being a Daughters of Khaine army. Not all sub-factions are always like that. Some do sometimes make you lose particular things, but Khailebron, not one of them. Now, in addition to this, Khailebron gets a special command ability for its sub-faction ability. And this command must be issued by a friendly Khailebron hero, and it must target a friendly Khailebron unit. What this allows you to do is effectively pick up the unit you choose, which can be the caster using it on themselves, remove them from the battlefield and put them 9 inches away from enemy units. Really cool, gives a lot of maneuverability and goes really well with some of the other things, like the fact that Khaine Shadowstalkers, who have that ability inherently to move, instead of move, just pop around the table wherever they want, and they are a battle line option in a Khailebron army, which is really cool. So you can have a really fast, maneuverable army for Khailebron, which I think we're going to try and lean into a little bit of this, try and play a very techie sort of army that's going to be all objective play, all sort of harass, all sort of moving around the table a lot of the time sort of army. But let's get looking at those first purchases. And so to start off with, I recommend a Bloodrack Medusa. Now, I think this is a great character for Khailebron. First of all, there aren't any characters that are going to have a natural ability to teleport, other than really your wizards, which are going to have access to things like Steed of Shadows, but also they're going to have the ability to obviously use that command ability on top, but they've also got access to some other ways, which is nice to sort of make your army. What I really like about the Bloodrack Medusa is her Bloodrack Stare, where she effectively gets the stare at a unit. She rolls a number of dice for an amount of models within range of her Bloodrack Stare and does some mortal wounds to them based on some dice rolls. Really cool, because you know you can plonk this even if she is 9 inches away. It's a decent range of 12-inch attack. If your opponent's got a nice tightly knit group of say grots or any small 25mm bases, she's going to do a decent amount of mortal wounds with that range. And she's also not too shabby in combat, a little bit more survival than your hags. I think she generally can provide quite a lot for the army for Daughters of Khaine without losing too much. Now, of course, alongside her, we are going to grab the Khaine Shadowstalkers. They're just cool. This is the special battle line unit, so we're going to use it when building the army. What's cool is Khaine Shadowstalkers, you'll get all the cool rules to be able to use them in Warcry in the box sets that you pick up as well, which is cool. Warcry is a good game. We'll have some videos coming out on using the Khailebron Khaine Shadowstalkers in another video. But for this purpose, they've got that 9-inch move, well, the move where they can move up to 9 inches away from enemy units, just teleport around the battlefield wherever they want. They've got a short-range 6-inch shooting attack with their magical missiles. They've got some attacks in combat, which are nice. And the Shroud Queen also has a better profile with a couple of extra wounds on her, on top of some extra rend and damage in her attacks, which is really nice. A good, solid, more powerful style of unit champion, which is really nice. For me, they're just a good unit. They're going to really play into the style of the game. We're going to try and play with this Khailebron army. And so, looking at other units we can bring into the force. First of all, I want to talk about Slithael Shadestalker and her warband, the Shadestalkers. They are the Nether Maze Underworld's warband of Khaine Shadowstalkers. Now, first of all, it is worth mentioning that they are indeed keyworded to Hagnar, which is a little bit disappointing. But the fact that they have their own inbuilt teleport means it's not losing too much, because they have no reason to want to use the command ability from that, unless you, of course, were trying to make Slithael use it on someone else. But I think they're a cool addition. They're really going to hit that theme. I'm disappointed they don't have the Khailebron keyword, in all honesty. I think that's definitely a big miss for me, the fact they don't have the Khailebron keyword. But on top of that, we've got some cool things. First of all, Slithael is the Shroud Queen, you can see that, and she's actually a hero that goes alongside. She's got her own separate Shadow Leap, so she can work independently from the Shadow Stalkers. However, she's got the Impenetrable Darkness rule, where while this unit's within 9 inch of all enemy units, this unit and the friendly Shadeborn units hold within 9 inch of her have a 4-up ward, so she can be pretty survivable, which is pretty cool. She's got the Mask of the Shadowed Mirrors as well, where at the end of the charge phase you can pick an enemy unit within 3 inch and roll 2d6. If the score exceeds their bravery characteristic, the enemy unit cannot issue or receive commands until the end of the turn. Not too shabby a little sort of rule to have. They can be a little bit pricey, but I do like it. You know, she's got damage 3 on a close combat attack, so 3 attacks, 3 threes, round 1 damage 3 is pretty nice. All in all, I think she's a decent enough unit to use. Maybe a little bit pricey, but they're definitely fitting the sort of theme we're wanting to go here with. Now, next to them, we have the 2 versions of Khaine. Heartrenders have some cool shooting attacks, and Life Takers are generally a little bit more combat orientated out of the 2. For me, the big thing about these that really fit into the theme is they're going to be extremely fast moving. They've got fly and a really big movement value, which enables them to sort of just travel across the table. You can also put these units in Deep Strike or in reserve and bring them on the table when you want before turn 3, which just gives you extra maneuverability across the table, something we're definitely trying to build more into. Now, lastly, we have the Bloodrat Shrine. For me, I like this. This is the bigger version, obviously, of the Bloodrat Medusa. She's on a shrine. She gets a bunch of different cool abilities on top of what she's already got. But for me, it's a bigger base for an even bigger Bloodrat Stare, which just makes absolutely horrendous damage to hordes nearby her. She's a lot more survivable than your first sort of Bloodrat Medusa. And you could totally build your Bloodrat Shrine and just put your Medusa on a base and have her being able to swap between the 2. Which is definitely something to perhaps consider. Like I said, she's a wizard as well on top here, so she's got a lot of things she can provide with some really good spells from the spell lore, and there are some ways to get some really cool bonuses to cast and some magical bonuses on the Bloodrat Medusas in a Daughters of Khaine army as well, which I think is really, really useful just for making sure you can get some of these benefits off. And so here we have our sample army list. We're obviously playing in Khailebron from Ulgu. We've gone for the grand strategy Predator's Domain with all the teleports, all the deep strikes and movement abilities of the army. Predator's Domain just seems like the correct way to go for a grand strategy. We've got no triumphs because we are a perfect 1,000 points, so we're never going to get one. Now, our general is the Bloodrat Medusa. She's going to have the command trait Arcane Mastery, which means she knows all the spells from the Lore of Shadows, and then she's also going to have the artifact, the Shadow Stone, which gives her +1 to cast all those spells. So she knows all the spells, she has +1 to cast. The Lore of Shadows, you really just go as a redundancy in case your opponent's got something like Nick It from the Gloomspite Gits that could potentially destroy your artifact. Other than that, there's not really much need for it. We've got Slithael Shadestalker. I put them in just because I feel it so fits the narrative. I wish they were Khailebron keyworded though. 2 units of Battle Line are 2 units of 9 Khainite Shadowstalkers, obviously including the Shroud Queens. We then have a unit of Khaine Heartrenders, and 10 of them. We then have 5 Khaine Life Takers and 3 of the Shadeborn Slithael Shadestalkers retinue. Everything here is in a battle regiment. This is a big reason why we've got the Khaine Heartrenders in a unit of 10. I feel you could... It probably has to be them because you really don't want a unit of 10 Life Takers. I don't think that provides much. The reason the Life Takers are in here, we're 5 points too shy of getting the another unit of Heartrenders. But you could, like I said, probably take Slithael out and put something else. But I like the ability that everything in this is either extremely fast at moving or has a teleport to it. The Bloodrat Medusa obviously can teleport, use Steed of Shadows on herself, a bunch of different things. So we've got 1,000 points here for a 1-drop army, one of our reinforced units. 54 wounds is pretty light. This army, I think, will be pretty fun to sort of play. A very sort of maneuverable army that's going to sort of play around objectives, move across the table in different sort of ways. Can really be a pain for your opponent. It's probably not going to fare the greatest against maybe some more shooting heavy armies, but against, you know, more combat armies, this can be an army that really does annoy your opponent and never lets them get into the fights that they want to get in, always making sure that you are dictating where the fights and where the play is going to be. With that said, what do you think of Khailebron? What do you think of Khainite Shadowstalkers as battle line as well? Let us know down in the comments below. And so that is the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel and drop a comment down below and let us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Sinful Gaming, we've got a link to our Discord server down in the video's description. And if you'd like to help support the channel in another way, you can do so either by joining Patreon or YouTube members or purchasing something from our Ko-fi web store. All of them are linked in the video's description. Thank you all for everyone who chooses to help support the channel. As a special thank you to those people who have supported via Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give a special shout out to them all. So a shout out to our patrons Christian Weir, James, Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowe, Owler and Shop First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nielsen, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Dynat226, Derek, and GRP390. A special thank you to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Vinny, Lockloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Sean Scott, Pink Nico Fire, and Robin Mankiller as well. Lastly, a special shout out first of all to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel you see, and to Xmorphic, who has done an amazing job at setting up our Discord server for her and making us have a nice place to content and to chat with all of our community. Thank you all for watching once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.